welcome to your sleep story. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Whatever this day was, however long it felt, however much it held, it is behind you now, completely behind you. You made it through, and that is everything. So let's begin. Before I take you anywhere tonight, I want to count you down from 10 to 1. And as I count, I want you to allow yourself to sink just a little deeper into wherever you are right now. Feel the weight of your body. Feel what is beneath you, holding you. And with each number, just let go a little more. 10. Allow your eyes to close. Gently, completely. There is nothing you need to see right now. 9. Feel your shoulders and let them drop as far as they want to go. 8. A slow breath in through the nose. 7. And all the way out. 6. Your hands. Feel them opening. Whatever you've been holding today, you can put it down now. 5. Your jaw is soft. Your face is soft. 4. Your legs are heavy, warm. 3. You're drifting, not asleep yet, but moving that way. 2. The day is behind you, completely and entirely behind you. 1. And now, tonight's sleep story, the relaxation. Before we go anywhere, I want to stay here with you for a moment. Just here, just now, because this moment, this exact moment right now, where you are lying in the quiet, deserves a little attention, a little kindness. Take a breath in for me, from the very bottom of the belly. Good, and let it go. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that everything you were carrying today, every worry, every unfinished thought, every heavy thing is just leaving with that breath, just drifting away. You don't have to solve anything tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are right now. A person who deserves rest. A person who deserves sleep. Because you do. You really do. Whatever happened today, whatever was hard, whatever felt heavy, you made it through. You are here. And that is enough. That is more than enough. You are safe. And you are here. Bring your awareness gently to your feet now. Just notice them and allow them to soften. The toes uncurling, the arches releasing. All the small held tension of the day simply letting go. Let that softness travel upward, through the calves, through the knees, the thighs. All of it warm, all of it heavy, all of it resting now. Your lower back, your hips. Allow yourself to feel the surface beneath you taking your weight completely, fully. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. The earth has you. The river has you. The belly soft. The chest soft. The heart beating steadily as it always has, as it always will. Your shoulders dropping, your arms heavy and warm, your hands open and still, the neck long and loose, and your face, let the jaw go. Let the forehead smooth. Let the eyes be completely still behind their lids. There you are, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, completely soft, completely warm, completely at rest. You've done beautifully. Now, let me take you somewhere. Somewhere the studio is old, and the paper is stretched, and the river is right there. And the painter has been watching the light on the water for 38 years, and is still learning what it does. Come with me. The town, a market town, on a river, the kind of town that grew up beside a river crossing, that needed the river, that used the river for trade, for water, for the mills that turned the grain to flour. The river town, the English river town, the town of limestone and the occasional red brick, the town of the ancient market square, the town that is what it always was, simply continued, the river at its edge, always, the river that gave the town its reason, that gave the mills their water, that gave the market its fish on Fridays, that gave the town its painters, because rivers give painters, because the light on a river is unlike the light on anything else. The moving light, the reflected light, the light that is always different, that is always the same subject, that is never exhausted. The river giving the painters what it always gives them, the subject that does not end, the studio, down the lane, off the main street, down toward the river, the lane that narrows, the old buildings close on either side, the studio at the lane's end, where the lane meets the river path, where the building is almost in the river, almost the rear wall, within meters of the bank. The studio built here for precisely this, the proximity to the water, to the light on the water. The studio, its exterior, unprepossessing, an old building, painted once, the paint fading, the studio sign, modest, old, but inside, the light, the north light, the great skylight, in the roof, facing north, the painter's light, the even, steady, consistent north light, that does not change through the day, that does not make the shadows move, that painters have sought for centuries. The studio built for this light, and for the river, both the north light above, the river behind, both present, always, the smell, the studio smell, different from Arthur's oil studio. This is watercolor, the watercolor studio. The smell is different, lighter. The oil painter's studio smells of linseed and turpentine. Heavy, dense, the watercolor studio. Different, water, the smell of water, the clean smell of water in jars. The water the painter uses to wet the brush, to thin the paint, to wash the brush. The water jars, old jars, their glass stained, the accumulated colors of 38 years, visible in the glass, the ghost colors, the colors that were diluted in this water that found this glass and stayed faintly, and paper, the paper smell, the heavy watercolor paper, the Arches paper, the Fabriano, the paper that is almost bored, that takes the water without buckling, that the painter has been stretching and soaking and working for 38 years. The paper smell and the paint, the watercolor itself, the pigment in the tiny pans, the pigments that are not linseed oil wet, but dry in their pans. Their smell, different, the mineral smell, the earth pigments, the synthetic pigments, the pigment in the pan, dry until the brush finds it, and the water and the pigment dissolves and becomes the color on the paper, Margaret. The painter, not Margaret from the Canadian lake, the other Margaret, this one, Margaret the watercolorist. She is 68 years old. She has been painting watercolors for 38 years. She came to watercolor at 30, from drawing, from the illustration work she did, for books, for magazines, the illustration that was her living, that is still her partial living. But the painting beside the river, that came at 30 and never left. She found this studio at 32. She has been in it since 36 years in the studio, by this river, the river, her subject, the light on the river, her subject, still, after 38 years, still, the paintings on the walls, the paintings, some framed, most not, the studies, the experiments, the finished work, and the not finished, the paintings that are still in progress. In watercolor, nothing is ever entirely finished. The painting can always be re-wet, can always receive more paint, more water. The watercolor painting that is dry, that looks finished, that is never fully finished, because the water can return and change it. Margaret knows this. She does not always find it difficult. Sometimes the painting that was interrupted by the water returning, by the rain that came through the skylight when she forgot to close it, sometimes that painting is better than the one she made, the accident better than the intention, the river teaching her that control is only part of it. What watercolor is, transparent, that is what watercolor is, the most transparent of the painting mediums. The light goes through the paint, hits the paper, comes back through the paint, the white of the paper, visible through the color, the painting lit from within, the paper providing the light, the paint providing the color, the two together, the luminosity, that is watercolor, the luminosity that oil cannot do, that acrylic cannot do, the light that comes from inside the painting, from the paper beneath the paint, the paper as the source of light, the paint as the colored glass through which the light passes. Margaret painting is not adding pigment to a surface. She is managing the passage of light through the colored glass of the pigment to and from the white paper. That is the light source. Margaret has known this for 38 years, has been doing this, getting better at this, still learning this. The river behind the studio, the river through the rear window, the river that Margaret has been watching for 36 years. From this window, the river that gave her the studio, that gives her the paintings, the river in every season, the summer river, lower, clear. You can see the gravel of the riverbed. In the shallows, the winter river, higher, faster, browned, the floodwater from the fields upstream, the October river, the river she is watching now. October, the river running at medium height, the water the color of pale amber, the autumn colors in the fields feeding in, the light, the October light on the amber water, the light she was trying to catch today. Still trying, still watching, the brush on the palette board, the brush, the sable brush, number 8, her most used brush, the brush that holds the water, that releases it when and where she wants, or mostly when and where she wants. The sable, the hair, the finest hair for watercolor, the Kolinsky sable, the brush that responds to the lightest touch, that can lay a wash of color across the whole sky in one smooth stroke, or make the finest line, the thinnest line, the line of the reed at the river's edge, the line that is the reed, made by rotating the brush. As the stroke ends, the rotation that lifts the hair to a point, a very fine point, the point that is the reed that is in the painting, that was in the river, that is in both. The brush on the palette board, still wet, the end of the day's work, still the water in it, Margaret's water in the brush, as Clara's breath was in the glass, as Cornelius's knowledge was in the rope. The water in the brush, the current painting on the board, the painting she worked on today, the October river, the amber water, the reflections in it, the willows overhanging, their reflection in the river, the sky in the river, 2 skies, the one above and the one below, in the water. Margaret has been trying to paint the river for 38 years, not the river as illustration, not the river as record, the river as it is, the quality of it, the light of it, the October quality, the amber quality, the way the reflection is not exactly what is above, is something else, something the water makes from what is above, something new, something that exists only in the water. The reflection that is not a copy is a different thing, made from the same source. She has been trying to paint this for 38 years. Today's painting, closer than yesterday, but still not it. Tomorrow, the jar of water on the table beside the palette, the water jar, the old jar, its glass with the ghost colors, the water in it, colored now from the day's work, the colors she used, present In the water, the pale amber of the river, the ochre, the burnt sienna, the raw umber, the colors of the October river. In the jar that is, a painting, almost the jar that Arthur would notice, that Maylie would notice, the jar that is accidentally beautiful, the colors settling in the water, the heavier pigments sinking, the lighter floating, the water becoming the painting in the jar while the painting is being made. On the board, two rivers, the one at the window, the one in the jar, both real, both present, both the same river, differently. What Margaret Knows. She knows the river, every mood, every light, every season. She knows the heron, the same heron that is on every river in these stories, or its ancestor, or its descendant. She knows it personally, its particular patience. She has drawn it hundreds of times. The heron in watercolor, the gray of it, the blue-gray, the way watercolor makes the gray of a heron more truly than any other medium. The gray that is also blue, that is also green, that is also the river. She knows this gray. She has mixed it thousands of times. She knows the willows, their annual weeping, their annual cutting, the pollard willows of the English River that are cut every 3 years, the pollard shape, the thick trunk, the explosion of new growth, the growth that will become the long hanging branches. That will be in the painting. In 3 years, she knows which willow is 3 years, which is 2, which has just been cut. She knows the palette, the porcelain palette, the white porcelain, the surface that receives the colors mixed, the colors laid out in their wells, the wells that have the colors dry or wet or somewhere between, the palette of the working painter, not tidy, not the new palette, the used palette, the palette that is also a painting, the colors that accumulated over many paintings, the accidental painting of the palette, the mixing of colors that were never mixed intentionally, that the palette made in the course of use, the palette that Margaret has used for 20 years, perhaps more, the porcelain, its surface, the story of 20 years, of watercolor, of the October river, and the summer river, and the winter river, all of it on the palette, accumulated, growing still. Margaret is at the table, the painting on the board, the jar of water, amber from the day's work, the palette, the story of 20 years, the brush still wet, the river behind the studio, through the window, the light going, the last of the October light, finding the river one more time before it goes. If thoughts are arriving, and they probably are, because that is what minds do, they are not staying long. The water takes them. The river, the water in the jar, the water in the brush, the water that is watercolor, the water that is the medium. The thoughts come, you notice them. The river receives them, as it receives the rain, as it receives the reflections, as it receives everything that comes to it, without preference, without judgment. You don't need to hold any of them. Just the studio, just the smell of water and paper and pigment, just the river behind the window, just Margaret watching the last light on the October water, still learning what it does. Peace lives in the studio, in the watercolor and the river and the north light, and Margaret's 38 years of faithful watching. Tonight it is yours. Good night. You are doing so beautifully. The day is done. You came to the studio tonight. The smell of water and paper and pigment, the paintings on the walls, the studies, the experiments, the river in every season, the painting on the board, the October river, the amber water, the two skis, Margaret watching the last light go. The studio received you, as studios by rivers always receive people who come to them with attention, with the watercolor light and the transparent paint, and the river that is never finished as a subject, and the painter who knows she will never be done. Carry it with you on the days when you feel the work is unfinished, the days when everything you are trying to do is still not quite right. Remember Margaret. Remember that the river has been her subject for 38 years, that today's painting is closer than yesterday's, that tomorrow will be closer still. The subject does not end. You do not end. The learning continues. You know the way here now, but tonight you are already here. The river is behind the studio. The north light is above. The paper is stretched. Sleep now, deeply, completely. You deserve every water bright, paper white, river watched, pigment deep, light loved moment of this rest. Every single one. Good night. Sleep well. The studio through the night. The paintings at night. The paintings on the walls. In the dark. The watercolors. Their transparency. Even in the dark. Even without light. The paintings on the walls. 40 years of the river. On paper, in pigment and water, in the dark, not visible, but there, the light that was in them, when the north light found them, not present now, the paper still white, beneath the paint still transparent, but no light to pass through, no white paper to reflect, no luminosity. At night, the paintings, waiting for the morning, for the north light, to find them again, and they will light, as they always light, when the light finds them. The river at night, the river behind the studio, still running, the October river, at night, not visible from the studio now, the studio dark, the window dark, but through the window, if you listen, the sound, the river, running, not loudly, not a rapid, not a waterfall, the sound of a river at medium height. In October, the steady sound, the sound that Margaret has been falling asleep to for 36 years, in this studio or in the flat above it. The river sound, her river, the heron's river, the willow's river, the river that is the subject, still the subject, still running. At night, what watercolor cannot do. Margaret knows what watercolor cannot do. The things she has learned by trying them and failing. Watercolor cannot make white, not white from the pigment. The white in watercolor is the paper, always the paper, the unpainted paper, the paper where the brush did not go. The white of the painting is the white of the paper, the reservation, the saved white. The painter who uses watercolor must think in reverse, must plan where the white will be before the paint goes on, must save the white by not painting there. The white is absence of paint, not presence of white paint. The absence, that is also presence. The saved white, the paper showing through. The light that is the paper. The light that the painter protected by not painting there, by deciding, this is where the light lives. This is the place. I will not go. The decision not to paint, as important as the decision to paint. The sketches in the notebook, the same notebook as every painter, as every person in these stories, who pays attention, who records what they see. Margaret's river notebook, 38 years of river notebooks. On the shelf, 50 of them, perhaps more. The sketches, the quick marks, the color notes, the pencil studies, the notes about what the light was doing. At 6:15, on the 17th of August, in a year she has written, the notes that are the record of 38 years of watching, the sketches that are not the paintings, that are the preparation for the paintings, or not even preparation, simply the record of seeing, the seeing that was too fast for the painting, the seeing that needed the quick mark, the quick pencil, the 2-minute watercolor, the note to remind her that this happened, that the light did this, at this hour, on this day, in this October, on this river. The paper, the Arches paper, 300 GSM, the heavy paper, the paper that can take the water without buckling, the paper that Margaret has been stretching, wetting, stapling to the board, letting dry, and then painting for 38 years. The same paper, or the same specification, the same weight, the same texture, hot press or cold press. She prefers cold press. The slight texture, the tooth that the cold press paper has, that helps the pigment find its place. The paper that is the foundation, the paper that is the light source, the paper that is more important than the paint is only visible because of the paper beneath everything, giving the painting its luminosity. The paper that is the whole of the watercolor painting, more than the paint, more than the brush. The paper that Margaret chooses with care every time. The heron at the river at dawn. Margaret sees the heron every morning, almost every morning. The heron that is on every river, in every story. The gray heron that is always at the water, that is always still, that is always patient. She has painted the heron more times than she can count. She has never painted it to her satisfaction. The heron, the thing that will not be finished. She finds this oddly comforting. The subject that resists, that is always more than the painting can hold. The heron, standing in the early morning light, perfectly still, the reflection of it in the water. Two herons, the one above, the one below. She reaches for the notebook. She makes the quick mark. 2 lines. The heron, vertical, the reflection, inverted. The 2 lines. The whole thing in 2 lines. Not the painting, the notation, the mark that says, this happened. The heron was here. The light was this. The river held it. I was here. I saw Margaret's morning. She is at the window. At 7, the morning light. On the river, the October morning light. The mist above the water. The mist that rises from the warm river into the cool morning air. The willows in the mist in the willows. The heron at the bank. She has the notebook. She is making marks, not yet painting, simply watching, receiving what the river gives. This morning, the mist, the willows, the heron, the light, always the light, finding the water, making it more than it was. She watches, she makes the marks, the morning, giving her the subject, again, the subject that is never exhausted, the river in the light, again, 38 years. What 38 years gives you? Margaret would say, it gives you fewer certainties. Not more. She was more certain. At 30, she knew how to paint. She thought she knew what she was doing. At 68, she knows less. More precisely, she knows what she does not know. She knows where the painting fails. Exactly, she can see the failure in precise terms. At 30, she could not see it. The painting seemed to work, or seemed to fail. She could not say why. At 68, she can say why. The passage of the ochre into the umber was too fast, was not managed. The edge, where the sky meets the water, was too hard, needs to be softer. She knows this. After 38 years, she still cannot always do it. Knowing is not doing. The hand, still learning what the eye has known for years, the hand coming slowly to what the eye has always seen. This is what 38 years gives you, the precise knowledge of what you cannot yet do, and the patience to keep trying. The studio is dark. The paintings are on the walls. They're paper white, waiting for the morning light. The jar of water, amber from today. The brush, still wet on the palette. The painting on the board. The October river, not quite right. Tomorrow, the river is running behind the studio. The heron is at the bank. In the dark, patient, the willows are in the water, their reflections moving very slightly with the current. Margaret is asleep. The north light will come at 7. We'll find the paintings. We'll make them luminous again, as it always makes them when it finds them. And the river is the subject. Still, after 38 years, still, and you are sleeping deeply, completely, peacefully, in the studio, by the river, the water light, the paper white, the transparent paint, the light that comes from inside, the painting from the paper below. This is exactly where you should be. This is exactly what you deserve. Every water bright, paper white, river watched, pigment deep, light loved moment. Every single one. You are safe. You are held. You are at peace. Good night, dear friend. Sleep well. Sleep deeply. Good night, and